Morning. Welcome to All Things Ecom with JESS HILL. My name is Patdees, and it's another episode. It's Wednesday already. It just seemed like it was yesterday that we were doing the last episode.
Yeah.
How are you doing today, Jess?
I am good. The weather is beautiful here in St. Louis. The kids are at school. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm excited to have our chat today.
So your kids start early down there?
Yeah, so this is the last year that they start in early August. So I think it was the 8th or 9th.
Okay.
Next year, they're changing it up. So we'll actually start on the 24th, but we won't have a fall break. So it's fine. When I was a kid, we had year-round school, 210 days. So I'm very flexible. Obviously, we work from home, so we can be flexible with our schedules. But yeah, so all the kids here in the St. Louis area are back to school. Lots of school buses drive in every morning.
Now, our kids seem to start a little earlier because of the snow days here in Pennsylvania, but they just passed a law in Pennsylvania, no more snow days, because they're going to have the ability to do their homework from their schoolwork and stuff from home, so that they're not getting 3 weeks into June having to wait to graduate.
That is a really good point because, the middle school, they do their stuff on Chromebooks.
Yeah.
So I would imagine that's going to be like the standard moving forward, is because if you're in corporate and you can work from home, you don't get snow days, right?
Right.
So that's really interesting because there's a lot of, the northern states that get buckets of snow, and especially Michigan. Michigan gets feet, of snow.
Oh, yeah.
When I was a kid, we got snow here, but now as an adult, 30 years later, it's maybe 2 days. Our snow days are more like ice, ice, very icy. So the buses can't spin their wheels on the ice. So it's those snow days though, real snow with real snowmen and sledding.
Right. Well, we're starting now that we gave the weather report. We're starting to get some people streaming in, so that's all right. Why don't you tell everybody who you are, and we'll start out. We'll assume that everybody is new watching this week, and tell them who you are.
So hi, I'm Jess Hill. I'm Ladies of FBA founder. I have been selling on Amazon full-time for over 3 years, just about 3.5 years. And so Pat and I have created a social media relationship, and we coupled together on Instagram, and now we are having our weekly show, All Things E-commerce. So thank you for having me, Pat.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And as I said, people are starting to stream in. These notifications kind of come out. It probably takes about 10 or 15 minutes before people start. We're using the new StreamYard. If you see already, I'm kind of playing around a little bit with the graphics. Up top, we got a fall pumpkin already, and and then if you guys want to check out Jess Hill, you could subscribe to the Ladies of FBA channel, and down in the description box below is the her link to her channel and stuff like that. And as you guys will see at the top this week, we're trying. There is a new. This one has the ability. It's a fundraiser to support male breast cancer awareness, as I'm a survivor. So if anybody wants to make a donation, and even on the replay, they can click that donate button, and it goes exactly to a charity to support male breast cancer awareness. So that's a nice feature. Now I am actually involved with that charity to support men. With their transportation costs and stuff like that, and it has to be a registered with the charities set up through Google, that they don't just take any charity. It has to be a registered charity. So that's just a new feature that in the future I'll be doing some things there. So instead of getting any super chats or anything like that, if someone went to make a donation up there, they can do that. So last week we touched on a couple subjects, keywords, sending stuff in, and I wanted to tell you, actually, I took some of your advice, and I went out grocery shopping for Amazon things to send it. So I did get a bunch of things that I think had a pretty good return, that even after fees, I could still make 30 or 40%. Yeah, after fees. So I had gotten a $200 disbursement from Amazon, and I said, you know what? Instead of using the money, I need to send that in.
Yeah. Roll it. Make
Right.
that snowball effect.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited for you. And, you know, grocery is a high velocity category. So hopefully they sell real quick and then you can turn the money again.
Right. Exactly.
Awesome. So yeah, so we talked about IPI and we talked about keywords from last week. So I'm happy to talk about that once we get rolling. So whenever you're ready, we can talk. Go ahead.
I'm ready for you, Jess.
Okay. So did you want me to try to share my slide?
Sure, and then I can present it to the people that are watching.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I will go to share, and then I will go to my slide. So we talked last week a little bit about when you're looking at your seller dashboard, you see on the dashboard, the Amazon dashboard, you see over in the right-hand side, there is a slider that has red and green and yellow, and it says IPI score. So this is the Inventory Performance Index. And if you're not familiar with the Amazon Seller Central forums, you know, just like on social media, we're all talking about hot topics. Those seller forums are going to be helpful as well. So just pretend like you were never on social media and you needed a place to talk about the various tools on Amazon. So I did link the Seller Central forum that's talking about the Inventory Performance Index. So there are 4 influencing factors for this score, and they're actually in order of importance. So the first thing, when you're trying to manage your IP, so you need to be above 350, and then it goes from 0 to 1,000. So the closer to 1,000, obviously, it's kind of like your credit score. You want it to be like really close to 800. As long as you're over 350, then you'll have your storage, usually unlimited or a great amount of storage in the warehouse. Once you get under 350, though, they start to limit your storage because they're saying, hey, your IPI score is low, and so we're going to limit you until you bring it up. Okay. So the things to do to manage this score is manage your excess inventory. So let's just say maybe you did a few wholesale purchases, or maybe you bought too many of some toy. And so it's saying that you have inventory in excess. So you click over to the excess inventory and you remedy. So either you're going to be optimized, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about keywords. You're going to want to optimize your listing. So click on the listing, edit it, and add to it. Create a sale. They have like create a sale button, or you can create a removal order and then sell it elsewhere. So Amazon does not want to warehouse stale inventory. And so this is going to be a great factor that affects that IPI score. So the second most important is your sell-through rate. So it's the rate at which, it's the velocity at which your inventory is selling. So if you went deep in a lot of slow movers, that sell-through rate is going to be a low number. So you want to do things like optimize the listing. Maybe you create a PPC campaign. Maybe you are going to advertise off of Amazon, maybe some Google advertisements. And then, of course, lastly, create removal orders for slow movers. So those are your top 2, right? If you're going to be focusing on how to increase your IPI score, those are the top 2 things to consider. And then the next 2 is your stranded inventory. So sometimes you will send something to the warehouse, and then later on the brand will be in that 0 program and you'll become restricted. So you need to remove those items or get auto approval or get approval through the brand. Perhaps there are times that the image isn't a quality image. So maybe you need to edit the listing and add a new image. Sometimes there's pricing errors. Maybe your repricer is out of bounds of what Amazon deems a good price. So maybe it's too high or too low. So just keeping an eye on those stranded inventory and then remedying those. And then, of course, the last is your in-stock inventory. So you want to keep up with your replens. You want to make sure that you are using either a forecasting software or at minimum the restock inventory button over in the inventory planning. So if Amazon is saying, hey, you should send 14 of these and you only send 7, well, that's not going to help the in-stock inventory number. So you want to be on top of your replens. And then for those items, for those of us that are in retail arbitrage and online arbitrage, we might be sending just 1 or 2 items like bras or shoes or whatever. So once you have, so this is my method. Once I've sold that item, I'll wait 45 days for the return period, and then I'm going to delete the listing if I'm not going to be replenishing it. You can also close it. So I close all of my seasonal listings because I would like to replenish it, but not till the next season, right? So I have like a pretty nice list of Christmas items that I would like to replenish. So I don't delete those listings, but I'll delete those bras, those shoes that I don't plan to replenish.
Right.
So just keeping on top.
A quick question, Jess. Yeah. What do you do with your seasonal items that are what you have to sit on?
So I will give it until about February, and then I'll remove it. And then depending on the rank and what it is. And then I'll just try to sell it, here locally, because you're not going to be able to return it after, maybe I bought it in November. And then just trying to, be really diligent. I know I did have some Christmas items this year, and it's really funny because I put them in my garage sale and I ended up breaking even. So I did a garage sale in June.
Okay.
Sure. And like people will buy stuff for Christmas in July. Like I had a leftover reindeer yard decoration, and I still sold it for $20 in July. So I just don't want to get the storage fees because it was rather large.
Right. We got more people coming in now. So real quick, I'm going to, Kimmy is in, Borderline Hoarders. Mitch, he has a question. Scott, the bearded picker who sells on Amazon,
Sure.
and I do a show usually with him Tuesday and Thursday. Now, Bearded Picker is saying that he deletes all his inactive on the first of the month, and they will keep track of the ASINs if he finds more. Did you see that?
Yes. So Inventory Lab, yeah, absolutely. So I use Inventory Lab for my buy lists as well. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm like showing all this weird stuff. I wanted to go back to the comments.
That's okay.
So that's what I do too. I try to keep, because we're always putting, we're putting like 100 new SKUs in every single week. So I try to keep it. Sometimes I get a little too relaxed on my, so I've been really focusing on it this week, trying to delete those listings. But I like that. If you can make yourself a schedule, the first of the month, the last of the month, whatever, or every other Thursday, whatever it is, to keep that inventory managed, right? Especially when you're a retail or online arbitrager, because you're going to have lots and lots of SKUs. So I had 5,700 SKUs, but that doesn't mean I have 5,700 products. And so now I'm down to 4,000. So I deleted a lot this week.
Yeah. It's amazing how the SKUs can add up. Even the little bit that I have, probably 180. But I mean, if you have 100 different books, that easily can happen. Now we have someone in here ask Mitch, how closely do you follow Amazon's restock recommendation?
So I have my replens and I do follow it pretty closely, but I'm always checking my listings before I replenish for new people. So say I have, I don't know, I want to say I have like 40 or 50 replens. So I'm going to be clicking through and making sure that there wasn't a large jump in the number of sellers before I replenish. And I always go into my managed inventory and I go to the restock and I make sure I set my parameters, because most of my stuff I can get within 1 week. So it defaults to 4 weeks. So I always want it to be set at 1 week so I don't accidentally overbuy. Because if it says 4 weeks, it might be, you might sell 10 a week, but then if you have it set to 4 weeks, it might say you need 40. So you don't want to accidentally overbuy. That's what I do. Okay. Yep. All right. Do you want? You're welcome. My pleasure. Okay.
Now, I am encouraging people to ask, questions in the chat and sub to your channel. So
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go ahead and I'll share. So once you're thinking, okay, well, how do I optimize the listing? So if you want to kick that back to me. So I mentioned listing optimization and keywords. So you can actually optimize a retail arbitrage listing, and we can talk, if you want, I can go on Amazon and I can show you a couple of listings that are great and not so great.
Sure.
So the basics. So I have Amy Weiss she's from Amazing at Home, and she and I are both group leaders in the Facebook community, and she was the one that taught me how to. So I have to give her a shout out how to optimize a listing. So she sells private label, so she knows a whole lot, and she does SEO and all this stuff. So you're going to want 6 to 8 photos. Amazon really likes to have lots and lots of photos. So that first photo needs to be a transparent or a white background per the terms of service. But then the rest of the photos can be lifestyle photos. So I mentioned last night during my training that I'm also a teacher. So I teach classes on retail arbitrage, that I sold a lot of makeup bags last year. And so I created the listings. So I would actually put the makeup bag. I have my card table here, and I clean my card table off on a solid background that's the opposite color of your item. So you don't have to take your pictures on white if you don't have it. You can take your pictures on a solid background, and I just use, it's called LunaPic. It's online, and I just upload my picture, and then I make the background transparent. But you can only make the background transparent if it's the opposite color of your product, so that you can just click on the black and it goes, boop, goes away. And then you just have your product in the transparent. So that'll be my first photo. And then for the makeup bags, I would take a photo of, the front, the back, if it was different, and then the zipper or latch, and then the inside of the bag. And then I would do some lifestyle photos, maybe take it outside and hold it in the light, holding it like as if I'm going to take it somewhere, take my makeup bag somewhere. So you want to have 6 to 8 photos, the more the better. You want to have keyword-rich bullet points and descriptions. And then you can actually, so I'll talk to those 2 points when I show you a listing. And then there's also something called back-end keywords. So when you're in your Amazon seller dashboard, you go to inventory, you click on a listing, you click edit, and you see the description and the keyword, or the bullet points. But then if you click on keywords and you click on search terms, that's the back end. Those are not going to be shown to the customer. And that's just another place where you can add keywords relating to your product. And so when you're thinking about, well, how do I even come up with keywords? There's all kinds of tools like Merchant Words and Helium 10 and various tools. So whatever you choose for your business. And when I talk about optimizing a listing, it's not just for Amazon. You want to optimize your eBay listings, your Mercari listings, your Poshmark listings. The more keywords you have in any listing on any platform, Walmart, Jet, it doesn't matter, the more visibility your product will have and the more you'll likely sell. Okay, so let me just hop over to Amazon, and we will look at a not so good listing, and then we'll look at a really nice listing. I looked at these last night with my class. So Sonia Kashuk is a brand from Target. I don't know, it's a beauty brand. So as you can see, that's a great photo. That's a great photo, but there's only one. So I would definitely be taking more photos. You can, it's probably in a package, take pictures of the front and the back of the packaging, and then maybe you'll open one and have be a model for the bronzer, whatever you choose to do. But let's look down. So these are what we call the bullet points. And these bullet points look pretty good. There's a lot of good keywords. Cream, bronzer, sun-kissed skin, melts into skin, delivers natural translucent color, focus technology. Those are all really good. I have a lot of apps, Chrome extensions. And then you're going to go down to the product description. And this product description looks pretty good. So from this listing, I would generate any more keywords from one of my tools. I use Helium 10, and then I would put in the back end keywords so that I can have optimal listing. I would back in my keywords and then add 6 to 7 more photos. So let's look at a really great listing, and I know that this is a restricted brand, so we don't ever have to worry about people, tanking prices because it's going to be restricted for everybody. Okay. So, but I can give you an example of what a really great optimized listing. So this listing has looks like they have, usually if I click on it, so they have the picture of the bottle, which you can't really see. They have the supplement information. They're showing that the label, the formula is the same, but the label has changed from last year. They're showing you the capsule size, that it's vegan, and something about their brand. And then they actually have a video. I'm not going to click on it because it starts going. So if you are doing private label, but for sure you're going to want to put in, especially if you're selling something vegan or keto or gluten-free or non-GMO, like all of that, people want to see that. They actually search just for that. So not only the picture, but I would make sure that vegan supplement is in my keywords. So as you can see, their bullet points are very keyword rich. And then down here, look at this product description. It is amazing. They're adding more life to their listing, which will convert to more sales. So when you're thinking about this, you can optimize listings for retail arbitrage items. You can. You go into edit, you add your stuff. You might have to open a case because sometimes it doesn't take, and then Amazon will refresh the listing. So that description is phenomenal. And then, of course, they have their safety information. So this would be where they have their statements from the Food and Drug Administration. So those are a couple of listings that I looked up last night with my class. Okay, so what questions do you have? Do you have questions for me? Let's go to, I'm going to let you go back to being the how do I do it? Stop sheet. There you go. There we go.
There we go. The question I have now, these two things that you've shown were examples of a poor one and a good one, you said?
Right. A not optimized listing and then an optimized listing. So,
okay. And how did you know, what do you mean by optimized?
So it has the pictures, the bullet points, and the description. If they don't have some of that, then it's not an optimized listing.
Okay. What was that green chart that I saw when you were going through?
Oh.
Was that something that we see on the back end, but the customer doesn't see?
It's Keepa.
Oh, okay.
So I have Keepa, and I have the Chrome extension for Keepa. So when I show my screen, everybody's like, hey, what is that? I have Keepa and I have RevSeller. It's always running. Okay. That gives you the history. So when you're going to be selling on Amazon, you get your Amazon account, but then you start using tools. So Inventory Lab and Keepa are two tools that I use. Those are the basic tools. I have to have those to run my business and make good buying decisions. So that's what that is. I mean, we can look at it if you want to, but that's what that chart is.
That chart is basically the sales of the product? So
Keepa tracks over 300 million Amazon products for just.com. And Keepa shows the data for the life cycle of the product. So for the product that I was looking at most recently, the Thorn Methyl Guard supplement, so it'll show the life cycle of the product. So the rank, it'll show what the price was. It will show the review count. It will show if Amazon was on the listing, if it was, it looks like it was just one new listing. And then it shows, there's different little things that you can choose to look at data-wise as far as like new third party, if they're doing FBA or if they're doing fulfillment by merchant. And then you can look for this product specifically, it's been on the market for 2,590 days. So you're looking at the history and you're making your educated decision on if you should buy it or not. So that's what Keepa does. It helps you make those educated decisions. So I think we had a question, or maybe the bearded picker is joking, but retail arbitrage is the art of purchasing saleable goods in retail stores to sell on e-commerce sites. So that's when everybody's talking about what in the world is retail arbitrage. That's what that is.
Yeah, he's joking, but for the people that are watching, I remember, to be honest, when I first started 6-7 months ago, I never heard the retail arbitrage. I just thought I was taking advantage of a great price and flipping it for a better price. But did you see Scott's the bearded picker's other question?
Yes, about Helium 10. So
yeah.
I have only been using Helium 10 for a few months, so I'm not optimized. But so far, I have liked what I've come in contact with regards to their listing rankings. They've been pretty consistent because you can cross-check their listing ranking with Keepa and just see if it all looks similar. So for me, I am not an expert yet on Helium 10, but I have been pleased with the product. So Helium 10 is a software service, and they have a lot of tools for us sellers, from getting like Refund Genie, and then they have Keyword Tracker, they have Cerebro, they have like follow-up emails. I mean, they have a bunch of different. So I'm not an expert yet, but I'm hoping to really excel with that software.
Now it seems a little overwhelming, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially when you're new, starting out. Where I think that's part of the problem when you're listing an item. Are we assuming, in other words, when I list something that's already on there, the keywords are already on there that someone else has set up, right?
Right. So if you didn't create the listing, some other seller or Amazon created the listing. So that's going to be whatever they put in, but you can contribute to that listing as long as you're not like obviously if it's private label and you're trying to hop in the product, that's not going to work. But for retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, what we are doing, you can hop on and make the listing more optimized.
All right. Now, if you were creating a new listing, where would you come up with these keywords that, I think that's part of the problem is sometimes people aren't thinking outside the boxes, what different, obviously vitamins would be, you put vitamins, but what else in a sense would you put? Would you put, what I worry about is that you get caught up putting too many words and that are unrelated. I mean, do you put medicine? Do you put health? Do you put kids?
So you can do a lot of things. So what you can do is you can find some free keyword tools on various websites and look up your product. So that was a B vitamin supplement, I think, a methylfolate supplement. And so you could go in, well, at first you can just go to Amazon and start typing it in. So I would just start typing in Thorn Methyl Guard and see what other listings come up and grab some of those keywords. Do the same thing in Google. So use Google and Amazon, the search as tools of what you're going to be searching for. Then you can also look at products. So competitor products, maybe there is another supplement that is for methylfolate, and you want to look and just review their listing and see what they're using. So it's really, so one thing I tell my mentoring clients and the people that take my classes is building a business is like taking college courses. So you learn your seller dashboard, and then you learn how to manage your inventory. Maybe all the while, you're also learning how to even run a business. I am a scientist. I did not take not one single business class. So when you're thinking about building a business, you need to always be learning. So that's where I, will read all these audiobooks, listen to. So as you're learning, you learn how to manage your inventory, you learn financial management, and then you learn how now that you have inventory, how do I make it the best inventory as possible so that I can get the most sales, right? So, keywords and listing optimization is just another college course. And so that's how I walk into, okay, I need to learn this because I'm struggling to understand why my items aren't selling. So this is what I'm going to do to learn. Is that good?
Yeah.
Good.
Now, if someone reached out to you and said to you, hey, look, I've sent in, $2,000 worth of product and stuff is not selling, what would you like? How would you approach that? And what would be your question to them?
Yeah, so that would be, the first question would be, are your listings optimized? Go through every single listing in your inventory and optimize it as best you can. If you don't have pictures, at least add more keywords to the description and the bullet points. And then I'm going to ask them if they're competitively priced. Are you using a repricer? Are you making sure that you are trying to get that buy box? Because the Amazon buy box is like 80% of the sales come from that buy now or the add to cart button. So those are the two top listings, or two top questions that I'm going to ask you. And then if you say, well, I just bought a lot of slow movers and they have a ton of competition. And then I would say, can you cross-post it on eBay and merchant multi-channel fulfill it over to an eBay sale? So those are things that I'll be asking you if you have that problem. Because I want you to be selling around 2% of your in-stock inventory every day. If you're not selling 2% in all quarters, then there's something wrong with the inventory that you have listed.
So 2% a day
of the in-stock value. So if you have $2,000 of retail value, then you need to be selling $40 a day.
Right. Okay. Now, where do you look up that? I've seen that. Where do you look up that value of your inventory?
Well, so I use Inventory Lab, right? So
okay.
Right. So if you don't have Inventory Lab, it'd be up to you to have some kind of spreadsheet.
Okay.
People use a seller list. I don't have any experience with that. But that's, maybe you're managing a spreadsheet where when things go live, and then you say, okay, live products are on this tab or whatever, and the value is this. So that however you manage your in-stock inventory value, but I use Inventory Lab. I promote Inventory Lab. Inventory Lab is a lifesaver for me.
Now, I had Inventory Lab for I think it was a week free trial or something like that. And that's where I saw the value of that stuff one time. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Because I didn't realize I had that much stuff in there. It's amazing once you get shipping stuff in, how the value of your stuff can and then you start, wow, I got, and that's good because I like that 2% number because then if you're sitting on $5,000 worth of stuff, what you should be selling. Now, you mentioned the word repricer, and explain exactly what that is, Jess.
Sure. So you're going to be sending in your items to Amazon, and they'll be priced at whatever you sent in. Maybe you sent it in on Monday, and then by the time it goes live on Friday, maybe the price changed. Maybe it went up or down. Maybe some sellers sold out. So you want to be staying competitive with that buy box so that you can get those sales quicker. So the first, I always say, if you have over 25 SKUs live, you need to be using a repricer, because you can go into your app and you can click, you click pricing opportunities, and then you can look, it says compare to the buy box. And then it says, let me check and see if you can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, then good. So, and then it's going to tell me, these alerts. But it's a lot to manage when you get over 25 SKUs. If you're clicking on this 3 or 4 times a day, that's a lot of time, right? So for me, time is what I don't have. So the minimum I want you to use is the Amazon free repricer. You can set that up in the Amazon dashboard. It is free, right? And then for me, I wanted a more robust. I wanted to have, several strategies. Maybe I have a liquidation strategy for old inventory, and then I have a buy box strategy. Maybe you have a few wholesale SKUs. So for me, I do retail arbitrage, and so when I'm setting up Aura, or if you choose to do Be Cool or Informed, whatever, my strategy for retail arbitrage is I want to have the very lowest be like 15% return on investment, all the way up to 660. So in Inventory Lab, I can pull out my sales and find the top and bottom and where I want to reprice, and then I'm always targeting the buy box. So that's what I use. I use Aura. I've been using Aura for several months, maybe even since they started it. I think maybe December or something. And I am an ambassador, so there's only a few ambassadors. They only work with some influencers. So if you wanted to use my discount, it's goaura.com/ladies of FBA. And then you use the code FBA ladies and you get 15% off your first 3 months and you get 2 weeks free trial. So you can use my code if you choose to. And Aura is a more robust repricer than the Amazon free repricer. So you're just targeting the buy box. You're just making sure that you're price competitive so you can get more sales.
Okay. Now, my concern is using a repricer is how do you keep track of what you're paying? And is it possible that the repricer has it that you sell stuff less than what you paid for it?
No. So you're going to load in your price, so it doesn't ever go below it.
Oh, okay.
So it'll have your price. Say it was $1, and your minimum is 15% return on investment. So it's never gonna go below $1.15, right? When you're repricing. So or whatever it is with the fees, because I think it'll be $1.15 plus the Amazon fees. So no, it won't unless you don't put your prices in correctly. And that's why I have Inventory Lab, because I can just download my, export my costs, import it to Aura. Export, import. It's really easy. So that's, to answer your question.
Yeah, it just a lot of it just seems overwhelming. That's why I didn't continue, because I don't have a whole lot of stuff in there. I have about 180. Let me look. SKUs, I think, and my concern was with doing all the stuff that I do. I just found it seemed overwhelming as far as.
Yeah, because you're going to have to be going in every single day. So I would at least be using the Amazon repricer.
Okay.
Yep, and then you'll get more sales, and then you'll thank me.
I have 109 actually offers in right now, which I had more, but what I did is I went in and started making some of the stuff. In the stuff that was inactive, because what I did is I started pulling a couple things the last month, and my score has gone up. That score, what was that score that you called it?
It's IPI, Inventory Performance Index.
Inventory IPI.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
Now here we are getting ready to go into the fourth quarter. What day is Prime Day for? Do you know offhand?
Prime Day was in July.
Okay.
Yep. And so now we're focusing on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and then Q4, right? So we know Black Friday is the day after Thanksgiving, and then Cyber Monday is the Monday after Thanksgiving, and then Q4, the real heavy hitter is like November through December 20th. That's going to be those like 6-7 weeks are going to be where you're going to make the most money.
And when do you recommend having your inventory in by?
So you're going to need to have, so right now, you're going to need to be turning your inventory as fast as possible. So I think I stopped sending about December 15th, and that's when I just merchant fulfill everything. And then I stopped merchant fulfilling around December 21st, and then I'm off. I'm off for like 2 weeks. I just spend time with my kids because I work a lot in Q4, and a lot of us really do, because you can literally make your entire business just in Q4. You could just work those 3 months and then be done. So that's what I do. I don't want you to stop sending an inventory those last weeks of December, because one of my biggest days last year was December 26th, when everybody got all their gift cards and they're like, all right, here's my wish list. I'm going to start buying my stuff that I wanted that I got gift cards for. So even though I take days off, I still want you to keep sending in your inventory. I would probably cut off sending in like Christmas specific inventory after the 15th of December. So I would just send in, still toys and grocery all the time, beauty all the time, and clothing all the time. So I would kind of stop with the like seasonal specific items, but then you're still going to get some really nice sales into January because it's almost like an extension of Q4 because everybody's playing with their gift cards. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I encourage anyone that has questions in the chat, please. We got David M the car boot. I think he's from overseas. So it's nice to see the cat. There's 16 people in here now, but the chat is kind of quiet today. So they're taking it all in, but I encourage anyone to ask questions, and I hope that the information that we're providing isn't confusing. That if you guys have any questions, don't be afraid to ask it, or even below, and you can even follow up with Jess. Do you have the Ladies of FBA on Instagram also?
Yes, so you can find me all over the place. I'm everywhere. So YouTube, it's all Ladies of FBA. Facebook, Ladies of FBA group. Facebook, Jessica Hill, Ladies of FBA page. Instagram, ladies_of_FBA. Twitter, @Ladies of FBA. So I'm pretty much everywhere. And then, I'm always happy to answer questions, whether it's in my page or in my group or wherever, or on my videos. And so I love to, help people. And that's why I even am on social media, right? So whenever I started a few years ago, I was just building my own little business. And then I got a mentor and he was like, oh, you should be on social media. You're a really good teacher. And I was like, okay. And so that's where Ladies of FBA kind of came to fruition. It was born in October of 2017. So we're approaching our 2-year anniversary, and just making sure that I'm getting out there and helping. I always have a little goal in my head to help 5 non-family members. I have 5 in-house family members and then 5 non-family members. So if I can help you guys today and get my little quota, so that's kind of where I came from and where Ladies of FBA, the purpose of why I do this. And so I love that we've partnered to have this weekly show and we can help people together.
Right. David, you see that he's from that's neat. He's from Northern Ireland.
Wow.
And he's a janitor or cleaner in a nursing home, and he does eBay part-time, and he's interested in learning other selling platforms. So, yeah.
Yeah, my stepdaughter went to Ireland for 23 days last year. So, and I'm very Irish. So awesome. Nice to meet you, David. So yeah, and you can do Amazon from Ireland. They have their own site for Ireland or the UK, and that is not saturated. So if you were looking to create an Amazon business, I would look into it because you're going to be listing a lot of brand new listings, and you'll be the only one. So basically, this is kind of what people that are international have done in country. You could actually have a .com account from Ireland. You could hire shoppers, that kind of stuff. Or you could sell in the UK and you could be the only one on those listings. And then, so what I would do is I would just search on .com and see the best ranked items and bring them to your country. Kim, I'm pretty sure you definitely have some Irish blood. We both have our sun freckles, our kisses from the sun, for sure. So yes, we should go to Ireland together, Kim, and we could take all of our children with us. But yeah, so that's what I would do if I were mentoring you, David, from the United States. Those are the 2 business models that you could totally build. The one thing I like about the UK sellers is that they can buy stuff in country, or they can import it from the United States. So there's a lot of different ways you could build a business model. But that's awesome that you're on eBay for sure. That's definitely a step in the right direction.
Now, Jess, with the ladies of FBA, how many ladies did this start with, or and how many are in your group?
So we have 2,000 members now. It started, so I was an extreme couponer for many years. And my friend Jill and I, she lives about 30 minutes from me. Whenever I discovered, so we have autoimmune diseases, and so sometimes our days are spent in bed. And so we needed a way to provide for our family and then also be able to rest when we need to. And so we were doing couponing together and we were both working jobs. And then I found Amazon. And so I brought Jill with me. I was like, Jill, come and do this Amazon thing. You can do it from home. We can both live our lives the way we want. And so Jill and I, when I thought about creating an all ladies group, I was like, what do you think? Would you like to help me with this? And she was like, absolutely. So Jill and I are the original, creators of Ladies of FBA, and now we have grown it to 2,000 members. We have so myself, the founder, and then Jill, and then Gabriella and Sarah. So we're all admins, and they bring a lot of great qualities to our group. Sarah and Gabriella really think outside the box to create not just your Amazon income stream, but all kinds of income streams and how to fund your business creatively. So I'm actually teaching a class tonight. It's how to make your first $1,000 at TJ Maxx, Ross, and Marshalls, and how to fund your business. So I actually give you real life examples of how much you need to go into these stores to purchase the amount of retail and then profit $1,000. And then Gabriella and I teach you over 50 creative ways. You have some creative ways of funding your business, like scrapping and such. We teach you over 50 creative ways so that you can fund that capital, then go into TJ Maxx, Ross, and Marshalls, buy your inventory, and then make $1,000. So that's our class tonight. That's what I teach, and then we also have a be on the lookout list that we give with this class. So I'm really excited. It's one of my favorite. Well, I love all my classes, but it's a newer class, so I'm excited. I love it.
Now, how often do you teach these classes, Jess?
So I teach them once a month. So we have 4 classes: Retail Arbitrage Basics, Advanced, How to Make $1,000 and Fund Your Business. And then tomorrow night is How to Find 101 Wholesalers in Less than 1 minute. And last time we ran it was 400. We usually have the students pick the category, and we were like, boom, 400 right there. Now you have a lot of homework for contacting wholesalers. So I teach the classes once a month. This month I tried something a little bit different. I'm actually, I am teaching it all in 1 week. So typically I teach it one Monday a week. So I kind of like the 1 Monday a week because staying up till 11:30 every night and then getting up at 6 o'clock is a little bit, I'm sleepy. But yeah, so I teach it once a month, and then you can always buy the replays. The good thing about the live show, though, is you can ask your questions right then and there to me.
What do you charge to do these classes once a month?
Yeah, so my classes are $65. It's a 2-hour class. You get an hour plus of class, and then you get between 45 minutes and an hour of question and answer. And then this month, I actually have all 4. You can get all 4 classes, and then you can get a mentoring session for free, which the mentoring session is $85 an hour, but you can get it for free if you bought all 4 classes. So I encouraged, I had several people get that deal, and so I encouraged them to take all the classes. And then, Kim is running off of 3 hours of sleep. So then once they take the classes, then they can look at their business model, and then they can schedule a mentoring session, and we can start those goals and start those action items. Okay. So yes, thank you. Thank you. Took the wholesale class, and it was awesome. I know. Gabriella's amazing. Like, I had no idea. Like, there was, like, this one slide that makes the whole class worth it. And, like, it's like, and she shows us this method, and you're like, had no idea. So I can't even say it because it's too great.
So how long you been teaching classes, Jess?
Since April. So I've been coaching for 2 years. Well, no. I would say if you count Jill as my first mentoring client, I've been coaching for 3 years. But then I've been doing like my website and the paid mentoring programs for 2 years. And then in April, I was like, you know what? Maybe people want classes. And then so I put it up. In my first class, I had 41 students, and I was like, holy moly! I was like,
Wow.
people love it.
And now, when you teach these classes, do you do it exactly like this? It's all done like in a webinar fashion.
Yep. So
Okay.
right from your couch, and I do encourage them to bring questions. I set up an event page. I ask them to put their questions in the event page and then bring them to the class. And it's great. It's just like school, only we get to wear our jammies.
There you go. That'd be maybe in the future. That'd be neat for an episode. Maybe have someone come on that has done the class.
Oh yeah.
And could come on and willing to come on camera and could basically talk a little bit about the success and what they've learned, that even if they try to do you have people that it caters to that has never done it before, or they've done it but they need to be, tweak it a little bit as far as learning some of your process?
So all of the above, right? I have brand new, just open an account sellers that take basics, and then they graduate up to advanced, and then they take the other classes. And then I have seasoned sellers that maybe they were a wholesale model and now they want to get into retail arbitrage. One of my clients did over $1.8 million in wholesale, but she said, okay, well now my husband is retired. I want to get in the RV, but I want to do retail arbitrage. So let me take your classes. So there's a lot of different people taking the classes, and then there's people that are international that will take the classes because they want to learn the process, and then they want to hire a shopper. So everyone is welcome, and everybody brings their own spice into the questions. And every time I teach a class, it gets more robust than the last one. So it's really great.
Where are these shopper opportunities? Is there a site that, if I wanted to be a shopper for somebody, or is it just getting to know someone that does Amazon and just offering to say, hey, look, maybe I could pick a product for you?
So the shoppers, it's a little bit newer. It's not something that I have never taken a class on how to hire a shopper. But so as you scale your business up, or if you have the skills and you don't have the funds for your account, but you have the skill set, you want to become a shopper. So the way I found my 2 shoppers is through word of mouth. They were in my group and they said, hey, I want to shop for you. So the tips that is always talk in the communities about it. If you want to become a shopper or if you want to hire a shopper. And then if you want to hire a shopper, you can always call all of the prep centers and just ask if they have that service. And if they don't have that service, do they have a recommendation? So for me, I found Nikki and Kimmy in my group. Unfortunately, I have them working to the bone. No, I'm just kidding. So neither one of them are taking new clients. But that's how I found them.
So now, do they just shop for you, or do they shop for other people?
So they're only shopping for me at this time, but Kimmy does own a prep center. So Kimmy does the shopping for me, and then she has a couple other people that do shopping. But I'm a high caliber. We're spending $5,000-$6,000 a week, and then she does the prepping in her little warehouse. So I shouldn't say little because I haven't seen it, and warehouses are typically big. But and then for Nikki, she has 3 beautiful boys. She wants to stay at home and be there for them when they need to be dropped off and picked up at special classes and whatever, or sports activities. So she can work this in her schedule. Like when they're at school, she can go shopping, and then when they're sleeping, she can do the prepping, and it's all on her schedule. So so that's how we do it.
Okay. Do we have any more questions in the chat? We got about 17 people. The chat was kind of quiet today. If we have any questions that we can get, Jess, the hour goes pretty fast.
It does.
Yeah. If you guys could hit the like button, the thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it. This was our 4th show. We do this weekly. Next week, do you have any idea what you would want to talk about next week? Or
we can talk about anything. We could talk about sourcing online arbitrage. We could talk about softwares that I use. We can talk about easy key keywording. That's a back-end keyword tool. We can talk about, or we can go back and talk about how to optimize listings for eBay. I mean, I'm down for anything that's on our little list or anything that the fans want. That's why we're doing this, is to serve others and help you build your e-commerce businesses. So I am game to talk about anything you want.
Hey, Kimmy, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Now, are you?
Hi, Kimmy.
You just started off on your YouTube channel. How often are you uploading videos?
Well, I'm trying to do one video a week at least. So we uploaded content about Inventory Lab. So I would encourage you to watch it because they have new features. And then if you're aware of the Scoutify, Keepa's no longer on Scoutify, so they had to disconnect it, but you can still do it. So in my YouTube video from Monday afternoon, you can go into your Inventory Lab account and you can add, let's see, I have the process in my webinar replay. You can add Keepa back in from your computer and then refresh your app and get Keepa back. So that happened. But then we went over all kinds of features of Inventory Lab. So I'm trying to give you guys, as much information on tools to build your business so that you can be more efficient and also be on top of your numbers, because I think that's one of the biggest struggles in e-commerce, is making sure that you actually know your profitability. And if you don't, it's very important that you get on top of those numbers. So I'm trying to do at least one YouTube video per week as we have time. And so that is the latest and greatest video on my YouTube channel.
Okay. All right, guys. Hey, I want to thank everyone that showed up today. I greatly appreciate it. I'm Patdees with JESS HILL. As everybody knows, I do. We started this about 4 weeks ago. Every Wednesday, talking about e-com. Every other week, I'm doing a Thursday show. Now tomorrow, I'm leaving for Nashville. There's a reseller meetup that's hosted by Phil and Scott, the Bearded Picker. So there's a whole bunch of things that they have planned to do together, just YouTubers and resellers to meet up. So there's people coming in all across the country that are going to be going there tomorrow, and that is actually for Friday and Saturday. And then for me, on the way home, I plan on stopping to see John at Nevermore Antiques, and I'm planning on doing my Saturday show, the Late Late Show, live from Nashville. I do that at 11 o'clock Saturday night, and and then we'll be back here already next Wednesday. So the week will go fast. So I appreciate everyone stopping in this week. I want you guys to have a great weekend, and thanks again for your support. Have a great day.
Thanks, Pat.
Yep. Bye.